So one of the fun things I get to do is work with a team of remote podcasters. And until recently, that team was as remote as New York City to the coast of California. And today I was actually working to try and equip our entire team of podcasters with some new equipment as we move into the new year and start a new season of the show. And as I got into that, I thought I should make a quick video covering the best deals on podcast equipment that are out there right now. We just passed Black Friday. We are getting into Cyber Monday, and the deals, as you know, started before Black Friday and they will stretch beyond Cyber Monday. But I wanted to get this out now in case you are looking for new podcast equipment to upgrade what you have. You're looking to start something new in the new year, or there's a podcaster or a streamer in your life that you need some ideas for gifts to get them. So I wanted to just walk you through some of the best deals that I found. This is not an extensive list. It's not an exhaustive list. It's a handful of microphones and a handful of interfaces that I thought would be helpful because number one, they're some of the most popular pieces of equipment out there, and number two, they're on some of the best deals that I found all day today. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to screen record. I'm going to show you a couple of microphones. First, we're going to start with the Rode Podmic. So when I started podcasting and had no idea what I was doing, I bought some cheap microphones, but this Rode Podmic was the first mic that I upgraded to once I recognized what kind of mic I needed and what kind of mic I was looking for that good, crisp, clear broadcast podcast sound. So the Rode Podmic is a cardioid dynamic broadcast microphone. The MSRP on this is $150. Now, I'll tell you this, I've rarely seen it for $150. It normally hovers at about $99 to $100. But right now, it's on sale for $79 here on Amazon. And by the way, there will be links to all these microphones and interfaces in the description. They're Amazon affiliate links, which means I get a little bit of kickback. It's a great way if you're looking for some of this equipment to purchase the equipment and support the channel. And it's not going to cost you an extra dime, but it will give me a little kickback and allow me to continue to create this content for you and other podcasters looking for new gear. So the Rode Podmic, $79 on Amazon right now. Now, this is an XLR microphone, which means if you have an XLR microphone and you need to record into your laptop or your desktop computer, you are going to need a USB interface to plug this into, and we'll get into those towards the end of the video. So this is an XLR microphone that you will need a USB interface to record. So these next microphones, let me show you. The next one is the Rode Podmic USB. It's very similar. It's a little bit sleeker design, as you can see. It's very similar to the original Rode Podmic, but this one has, let me see if I can show you here on one of these photos. It has a USB and XLR connection in the back of the microphone. So, which means you can use this straight up as a USB microphone, plug it directly into your laptop or your desktop computer, and you're good to go. This is truly a plug and play microphone. There is a headphone jack in the back that you can plug in and monitor with zero latency your audio that you're recording into your software. Now, it is a little bit more expensive, and that's because it has USB functionality and XLR functionality. You can plug it directly into your computer or run it through an interface for a more authentic, richer XLR microphone sound. It's running right now for $159. The MSRP on this is $199. So you're going to save about $40 purchasing this microphone now. Link to this, along with all the others, is in the description. Now I'm going to jump to a little bit more of the budget end of microphones, but these are microphones that I have in my studio that I use on a regular basis. This first one is the Fifine K688. I've done an entire review of this microphone. I'll link in the description of this podcast and probably up here in the card. So check that out if you're interested in this microphone. Now, the reason I wanted to put this out there is because this is already in the budget range of microphones that, well, I would consider anything under $100, but I wouldn't suggest buying anything under $70 normally. This mic runs typically for $75 to $80. I think when I bought it, it was $80 originally, and now it's on sale for $51. It is a great microphone. This also has USB and XLR connection. So again, it's plug and play directly into your laptop or your desktop computer, or you can run it through a USB interface, which we'll talk about here in just a moment, for a different sound that you can adjust and play with a little bit more to get the quality that you really want in your voice out of your microphone. So that's the Fifine K688. All of these right now are dynamic microphones, which is what I recommend if you're recording in your home or your office and you're in a room that may not be well treated. The dynamic mic is going to pick up primarily what's directly in front of it, reject much of the extra noise that may be happening all around you, potentially in other rooms, or if a neighbor goes out to start their snowblower or their lawnmower. Your dynamic microphone is not going to pick that up as much as a cardioid mic. So that's why all of these mics that I'm recommending today are dynamic microphones. Let's move on to another Fifine microphone. This one is the Fifine Tank 3, and I did an entire video review on this mic. I'll link here in the card and in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. But I was quite impressed with this mic. It's well built, it's well constructed, it's metal all around, it's heavy, it's got some weight to it. And on top of that, it sounds great. So this is a USB and XLR dynamic microphone, just like the previous ones we looked at. It's a step up from the K688, though the price doesn't show it too much. This is a step up from the $75 to $80 K688 from Fifine. This is MSRP is $90, $89.99. On this one is what it usually goes for. Right now it's on sale for $63, $64. So check that out if you're interested. There's a link again to watch the review that I did of this mic and to pick it up for yourself or that podcaster in your life. So let's move on now to the interfaces that you will need, the USB interface that you will need if you want to use any of these XLR connections or any other XLR microphone and run it into your laptop or your desktop computer through some software that you may be using. You're going to need a USB interface. The first one I want to show you is a classic. It's the Scarlet Solo from Focusrite. Now, this is the third generation. I wanted to put this up there because of the price. It's usually $130. Right now, it is on sale for $99. So it brings it from just outside of what I would consider that budget range, just inside of that budget range. So check this out. It's a one-input XLR USB interface. You have your gain controls. You have some additional connectivity there with the line in that you can plug. It's got 48 volts of phantom power if you are using a condenser mic. Now, none of these dynamic mics that I've talked about will need that phantom power, but it's there if you need it, if you have a condenser microphone that's plugging into this. And then you have your monitor volume and your power button on and off. So the Focusrite Scarlet Solo, third generation, usually $130, now is at $99.99. So check that out. There is a newer version of this, the fourth generation of the Scarlet Solo, which you can see now on your screen. This is a step up from the third gen. It is usually MSRP $179.99. They've dropped it all the way down to $119. So if you are looking for a solid, dependable workhorse of a USB interface that has been used for years and has a trusted name, the Focusrite Scarlet is a great one to look at. From $180 to down to $119 is a fantastic deal. And if you're going to get one, you may as well spend the extra $20 and bump from the third generation to the fourth generation of the Scarlet Solo. Now, I understand this is not a review in this video of any of these products. I did do some reviews of some of the microphones that I told you about earlier. I have not done a review of any of these interfaces. I have used all of these interfaces and they're great. I can vouch for them, but this is not a review. I'm just doing this video to show you the value that you can get from these sales that are out there right now as Cyber Monday approaches. The ones I really want to show you, and these are the ones I was looking at for our podcast team, is the Focusrite Vocaster. The Vocaster One that you see on the screen now, and what you'll see in just a moment, the Vocaster Two. The Vocaster One is a one-channel USB interface and has a spot for one XLR mic to plug in. and control. The Vocaster Two, as you might have deduced already, has 2 inputs for XLR mics and 2 separate dials and channels that you can control individually, which we'll get into in just a moment. I want to show you the Vocaster One. We'll get into the price. You can see it on the screen, but I want to talk about it in just a moment. What I like about this interface is it has all the functionality of a USB microphone that might have a mute button on top. This USB interface has the mute button on it. It has a auto gain, the button you see there on the left. That's auto gain, which means you press that, you start talking, and it will set your gain at the level it thinks it needs to be at for your volume of your speaking voice. So that's a fantastic feature that you're not going to get with other typical USB interfaces. This one is built for podcasters and podcasters who may not want to spend all the time with all their settings and dialing it in themselves. This will do a lot of that for you. So the auto gain there is a dial there on the left that you can adjust the gain just a little bit more up or down if you'd like to. It has the 48 volts of phantom power if you are using a condenser mic. And it has the monitor for your output and your headphone there. It shares that dial on the right side. Now, that button right in the middle is one of the things that I love about this interface because it has some post-processing settings that you can use without trying to figure out your own equalization and compression and the style, that if you want to more of the highs and be crispier or more of the lows and have a warmer type sound. That will do all that for you. There's 4 presets in there. You can push that button, cycle through the presets, and then in the software that comes with it, you can actually dial it in a little bit more. If you want a little bit more compression or a little bit less compression or more EQ, you can dial it in the way you want, but it does set it automatically and does a pretty fantastic job. So let's talk about the price. This typical price, according to this, is $80. Now, I've never seen this for $80. This typically runs in the places that I've seen it here on Amazon, in the store at Sweetwater, for $150, and right now it's down to $60. So I don't actually know where that $79.99 came from that you see on the screen. It usually runs at $150. Now, I've seen it on sale for $100. I've never seen it on sale for $60. So check that out. This is a better deal than it might look like initially. So the Vocaster One. Let me bump over to the Vocaster Two here and show you some of the differences here. Now, let me address the price on this one since I ended with that on the last one. Let's start with that here. This says it typically retails at $99.99. Now, again, I don't know where that came from because the Focusrite Vocaster One, as I mentioned, typically retails for $150 or $130 to $150 is what I have typically seen it at. So for the Vocaster Two to retail at $99 is not typical. So again, don't know where that price came from. This one I've seen on shelves and on Amazon for $250 typically. I've seen it as low as $200 on sale. I've never seen it for $92. This is a huge deal. It says it's 8% off. This is about $150 off of what it usually retails for. So now the great thing about the Vocaster 2, it's similar to the Vocaster 1, but it has separate inputs for your host, which you can see on the screen, and the guests. So if you have 2 people in the same room, you can plug into this one USB interface. You've got the auto gain dials separately, or the auto gain buttons settings separately for each individual, the host and the guest. You have the post-processing settings, so you can adjust for yourself and your guest. You can have your mics can sound a little bit different depending on what you like and the tone and the quality that you want. You've got the separate post-processing and the separate mute buttons there. So these are some of my favorite deals that I'm looking at for our podcast team. I'm curious what you're looking at, what you're looking for. If any of these are of interest to you, if you've got questions about any of them, let me know that in the comments below. And if you are interested in picking one up for yourself or the podcaster in your life, you need a gift for someone as Christmas approaches, there are links in the description to all of these. They're my Amazon affiliate links. Again, it's a great way to support this channel. If you like the content that I produce here, that's not going to cost you a single additional dime other than the equipment that you are purchasing. So if you've got other Cyber Monday deals or other deals as Christmas approaches that you think are great and want to share, let me know that in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.